Hi everyone, welcome to part 3 of my free 4-part video training all about money for photographers. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about selling your work, which if you're running a photography business is going to be the basis of how you bring money in. It'll just be in different formats. So to recap, in video 1, I talked about getting to grips with your financial foundation so that you've got a really good base to build on. In video 2, I talked about having the confidence to charge your worth. And if you haven't watched that, please do go back and have a look at it because it gives you a really good starting point for today's video. And also there's a link in my bio to download the ultimate pricing guide for photographers, which you can work through and get a really good foundation for your pricing. Very, very important. So, there are several ways you can sell your work as a photographer. The first one is to offer like a shoot and burn kind of package for your clients. So you charge a fixed fee to go and do the shoot and supply the digital files to your client. Now, this is great if you are a weekend photographer and you're kind of a bit of a part-timer with it and it's just supplementing your full-time job income. The downside with it is that you can't kind of add on. There's no additional way you can make money from your images because once you've handed digitals over to a client, they will not come back to you for printing because they don't need to. And also you don't really have control over how your images are used. So your client that you've handed the pictures to can go and have them printed at a rubbish high street printer and have your pictures looking utterly awful. I think we've all been there. We've gone to these high street places and had really cheap prints done. And they come back with like a real magenta cast or a really green cast, and there's your work sitting looking less than fabulous because it's been put through a print process that you've had no input with. And also with that, you're not making sure your clients are getting the best results, obviously, if your pictures don't look great. The second thing with that is that you have no control over how your images are used. Copyright is a really important thing to consider when you're handing digital files to a client. I'm going to be talking more about this in video 4. It's something I'm very passionate about because I have been on the wrong end of South Africa's copyright laws, which do not protect me as a photographer, and I ended up selling some digital files to a private client who then handed them to a corporate who has now put them on their packaging. It's all a bit of a grey area. I lost out on a lot of money from it, and it was a huge hassle. So I'll be sharing a bit more about that in the next video of how you can make sure you avoid that pitfall when you're handing files to a client. The second way you can sell your work is to do the shoot and burn model, but add some extra prints or products onto it for your clients. So you then get a little bit more control over the printing process, and you get, sorry, there's Richard in the background screaming. You can get more control over how your work is printed, and you can get more control over the end result to make sure that your images look as beautiful in print as they did when you edited them, and then your client's getting the best result possible. Again, with that, by giving all of the digitals and a few prints, you can charge a little bit more for your package, obviously, because you're including some printing in there, but you're unlikely to be able to sell additional printing because, again, the client has all of the digital files. And a third model, which is the one I use, is that you charge a set fee and include a certain amount of printed products, so books or canvases, for a fixed fee for a client, and then they have the option of adding on extras onto that. So I've got 3 different packages at 3 different price points that have a variation of goodies on there, and then I include the digital files for my clients with the very top package. So it allows me to keep control of my images. It allows me to offer a great service for my clients because I'm printing the images for them and I'm making sure the end result is 100% perfect. And it also allows me to build a relationship with my clients, which I've touched on this in the previous videos, is so important when you want to run a successful business. Your clients are what keep your business going. And if you can cultivate a really good relationship with them, you will have clients who come back to you year on year on year. And it just provides a really, really sound base for your business. and we're offering a service at the end of the day. So it's not about the in-person sales model that I've just touched on isn't about doing a hard sell for all of your clients. I'm not interested in trying to make people buy something they don't want just so I can maximize my profit. That's not what it's about. It's about providing a really good service for clients so they use their images, because I think the problem with handing digitals over is that they don't get used. They sit on a computer and then the computer gets stolen or dies or what have you, or the hard drive gets dropped on the floor, and there go the images. And effectively, we're making images and memories for our clients to enjoy. So it's really great to be able to be part of the process of making those pictures into something so that clients can enjoy them kind of day on day, whether they're on the wall or on a coffee table or however they choose to share them. Now, these models I've been talking about are applicable for photographers who shoot for private clients. So things like portraits and weddings primarily. Commercial photography is very different. If you're shooting for a corporate client, you're not going to be able to upsell them with books and canvases because that's not what they want. They will be commissioning you for a shoot and they will be asking for the digital images to use for whatever has been discussed. Now, commercial photography is a very different kind of kettle of fish. You're going to be billing either per hour or per half day or full day, and you're going to be billing image usage depending on what's happening with those pictures. So it's a totally different pricing structure. You can, however, still use that pricing guide to get to grips with your hourly and daily rate. And then it's a case of sitting with your client and discussing what the images are being used for and how it's appropriate to price those. So it's a slightly different model, but it's very applicable to think carefully about your pricing with that one. So in video 4, which is coming up on Thursday evening, I am going to be talking you through how to get started with the in-person sales pricing model. And I'm going to be giving you some tips of how you can start bringing that into your photography business to start increasing the amount of money you make and to start cultivating a better relationship with your clients. Because like I said, at the end of the day, it's something I talk a lot about. It's so important. It's so important. I've got clients who come back to me year after year after year. And it's what keeps my business going. So it's so important to really start thinking long term with how you kind of put your business strategies together. So to get registered for Thursday evening's video, please hit the link in my bio. It's the 3 training techniques free video link you'll see there. So just pop your name and email address in and you'll get all the registration information there. So as I say, I'm going to be covering in-person sales, I'm going to be covering the importance of branding, and I'm going to be giving you strategies to kind of up your things you can do to up your income in your photography business. For photographers who attend the training live, which I highly recommend you do because there will be the opportunity to ask me some questions, I'll also be sending you a PDF booklet on that in-person sales, something you can work through to really get to grips with getting started with what could be a bit of a new and a little bit of a daunting model to be thinking about using. So hit the link in the bio and register for that. I'm also going to be sharing very excitingly about my new group program I'm putting together. So if you're listening to these videos and you're thinking that's really super, actually I need a little bit more help with it. If you're struggling with the kind of loneliness of the entrepreneurial journey as a photographer, because we do end up quite isolated, I'm going to be putting together a group program which brings photographers together in a community. There'll be weekly teachings, there'll be opportunities to ask me questions in person about things that we've been talking about money, in-person sales, marketing, branding, looking after your clients, all of those wonderful things. And it's going to be at a really affordable price point. So I will be sharing all about that on Thursday, how you can get involved with that, what it's going to entail. And I'm really, really excited to be able to help more of you kind of in person with your photography journeys. So hope you've enjoyed this video. Please go back and watch the other 2 if you haven't caught them, because it's going to give you a really good base for the things we're talking about on Thursday. And as I said, the video training is Thursday the 7th of November. It's 7:30 p.m. South African time, 5:30 p.m. UK time, and that's 1:30 p.m. Eastern time in the States. I will see you guys on Thursday evening. Have a wonderful day.